The Guru Absar of the Vishnu Society speaks on reparations for Suriname. Dear friends, today I wish to speak on a topic that weighs heavily on the minds of many both in Suriname and the Netherlands, reparations for the legacy of slavery. We increasingly hear voices from certain Surinamese groups and their sympathizers living in the Netherlands, calling for reparations, sometimes for revenge, often in a tone that stirs division rather than reconciliation. Some behave like racists or agitators themselves. And yet, heaven forbid a Dutch person makes an innocent remark about someone with dark skin, the outrage is swift and unforgiving. Let me be clear, rightful reparations should only apply to the first 3 generations of descendants of those who truly endured the horrors of slavery firsthand. But these 3 generations are no longer among us. The 4th generation, and those who followed in the 19th century and beyond, did not experience slavery. By then, the chains had already been broken. And what have many of those later generations done since? They adopted the religion of their former oppressors. They embraced the faith that once justified their ancestors' enslavement and now cling more devoutly to its doctrines than the Pope himself. Forgive and forget, their religion teaches. But why, then, does resentment toward the Netherlands persist? Should the Netherlands be expected to pay billions to people who have inherited nothing more than a memory? Memory alone is not suffering. What the Netherlands can do out of goodwill, not guilt, is invest in educational projects. Not as penance, but to improve the lives of today's and tomorrow's generations in Suriname. That would be a meaningful, responsible act. And let us not forget it was not only Europeans who played a role in the slave trade. Certain unscrupulous African tribes sold their own people into slavery. Yes, I say that aloud. And now we have activists like Jerry Afriyie, campaigning against Black Pete in the Netherlands, as if this somehow redeems the history of his own ancestors' complicity. If we are to speak of reparations, then Africans must contribute as well. But, they lack the means. So that conversation quickly ends. Let us also remember slavery was once legal property. Slaves were bought and sold like goods. Inhumane? Absolutely. But who, then, is guilty? The VOC? The slave traders? The Dutch royal family? The African sellers? The Creoles, the mixed-race children of white masters who often became brutal overseers of their own people? All these parties are long dead. It is history. We must face the truth, Creoles, too, profited from slavery. They did not toil in the fields. They lived near the master's house, their father's house, dressed well, held positions as domestic workers. These mixed-race children received education, became supervisors, and often treated black slaves even worse than their white fathers did. To this day, we still see their descendants, light-skinned, haughty in posture, proud and boastful. But what is slavery, really? Look around in the Netherlands. Every morning, people rush to jobs where they are treated unfairly by today's society. Modern slavery, that's what we're dealing with now. You're no longer allowed to speak your mind. Fireworks are banned. Black Pete is gone. Dutch culture is being steadily dismantled. And amidst all this, we offer apologies for a distant past while people continue to suffer daily in the present. Let us start with reparations at home. Compensate the victims of the childcare benefits scandal. Reunite children with their families. That is the real responsibility of the Dutch government. And let us not forget the original inhabitants, the indigenous peoples. The Indians. They were the first to dwell in Suriname. They did not fight for freedom. They accepted their fate. And, as with every person that bows to tyranny, they were nearly wiped out. When it became clear that they could not endure hard labor, African slaves were brought in. The few remaining indigenous people were left alone. Their descendants, the Kalinya, Lakono, Akawirio, Trio, and Wayana, still live under oppression to this day. These peoples were never taken seriously. Not then, and still not now. So, people, if we are going to speak of reparations, then let us speak in full. Let us look at the entire picture, not selectively, not opportunistically. Let us take responsibility for the present. Because the future does not begin with the past, it begins today.